But every time I go up in an airplane, I remember what it's like when they opened that door and pushed me out. I've gone whitewater rafting. You know, that looked like fun on TV. That's the most dangerous thing I've done. Oh, that looked like fun, man. I got my wife, my 4 children, and my 76-year-old mother-in-law at that time. Got 3 professional guides. We're going to spend 4 days and 3 nights on the Snake River. Boy, I should have known how dangerous it was, because a lot of people offered to send their mother-in-law with me. These are all true stories. I get in that raft. I don't even have my vest on. The guy said, "Coach, you better button that sucker. We're getting ready to go through Big Chief." I said, "What's that?" He said, "That's a Class 5 rapids." I didn't even know they classify them. I said, "What does that mean?" He said, "That's the most dangerous you're allowed to go through." I said, "Give me an example of Class 6. He said, "Niagara Falls." I passed that thing. I put my thumb down that little rope, you know, outside the raft. We hit that sucker. My feet went up over the raft. I came out of the raft 3 seconds before my right thumb. I broke my right thumb in 4 places, but I didn't know it. Because my feet flipped up over my head, my thumb got the compressed fracture. I came up underneath the raft. They didn't teach me to hand walk way out from under the raft. So I went back down thinking the raft continued, but I'm going at the same rate of speed. When I came up underneath the raft the second time, that's when I realized winning the national championship wasn't that important. There was only one thought on my mind. The word was win. WIN stands for what's important now. The only thing important now was get out from under the raft. Get your head above water, then get your feet above your head. See, whatever you want to do, ladies and gentlemen, ask yourself, what's important now? There aren't many mistakes I've made in this world that I don't regret, because I've made thousands of them, but I've learned. The one thing I truly regret was I went to the University of Notre Dame. We took a program, it was on the bottom. Miami had beaten us 58-6 a game before I got there. And we took it to the very top. And for 9 straight years, we went to a January 1 bowl, the sugar, the cotton, the orange, or the fiesta, for 9 straight years. And I truly regret that. The biggest mistake I've ever made in my life that I regret was when we got on the top, I stopped dreaming and started maintaining. See, ladies and gentlemen, what I should have done was set standards and goals so high that nobody thought was possible before. But you'll reach a level where you get content with what you're doing. You say, let's just maintain this. I thought I was tired of coaching. I wasn't tired of coaching. What I was tired of was maintaining. See, ladies and gentlemen, when you try to maintain any phase of your life and you stop dreaming and you stop trying to grow and you stop trying to reach another echelon, then what happens is you have no reason to celebrate a success. You have no enthusiasm. You never have any new or unique ideas. You just go along trying to hold things together. When I went to the University of South Carolina, a team that had won 1 bowl game in 108-year history. And I said, our goal is to win a championship. Our goal is to win bowl games. Our goal is to be nationally ranked. For the last 2 years, we've been nationally ranked. This year, we're nationally ranked in every single poll taken. And what really gave me an excitement, I'll be 65 years old on Sunday. But I want you to tell you right now, I have more goals and dreams, more enthusiasm, more excitement than I ever had in my last 3 years at Notre Dame. My last 2 years at Notre Dame, we went 9-2, 8-3, and that's my fault. Had we set goals and dreams and standards, we'd found new ways to do things. I get up every single day with a million different ideas of how we can improve our program. And I say this to you sincerely, in any phase of your life where you try to start maintaining where you are, you're on the way down. But when you keep dreaming about how can we get there, you'll come up with a million different ways to get there. And gentlemen, I think that dreams is absolute necessity, and as a leader, if you don't have dreams for your people about how to get somewhere, you will not have the enthusiasm nor provide the leadership. I remember when I was at Notre Dame, we opened up the University of Michigan in 1989. We had to play them up there, and Michigan was a great football team. That was a game that Rocket Ishmael ran back 2 kickoffs to win the game. Now, Rocket Ishmael was a great athlete. I mean, he could get in bed and turn out the light before it got dark. You know, when he was freshman, I said to my wife, boy, he's going to be special. She said, how can you tell that? I said, I saw him play tennis. She said, what was impressive about that? I said, he's playing by himself. You know, many people could do that. But I talked to our team about what we had to do to beat Michigan. And I went out there, and boy, the first 3 or 4 days, we had an excitement. And you know what happened? They got tired. They got hot. They didn't feel like working. They forgot about the competition. They forgot about our goal, our dream. What they worried about was how uncomfortable they were. I walked out about the 6th day, and I called them up, and I said, man, I know you're tired. I said, so I called Bo Schembecker today, the coach at Michigan. I really didn't call Bo, but I told him I did. I said, man, I called Bo, and I said, Bo, your Michigan player's tired? He said, yeah. I said, Bo, we're tired too. I said, I'll tell you what, Bo, you give Michigan players a day off today, and I'm going to give Notre Dame players a day off. They start high-fiving one another and cheering. I looked at him, I said, Bo said no. And I said, Bo said he doesn't care how tired you are. They're going to work 2 hours. I don't want to work here, but if we're going to beat Michigan, we got to work 2.5, which we did. And we had a good practice because they remembered what Michigan was doing, what we had to do to be successful. Instead of worried about how tired and sore they were. And it worked so well that day, I walked out the next day and I said, hey, man, I called Bo today. They looked at me real funny. They said, what'd Bo say? I said, Bo, your player's sore? He said, yeah. I said, I'll tell you what, Bo, you practice them in shorts today, and I'll practice Notre Dame in shorts. And I said, man, you won't believe this. Bo said no. Bo said he's going to scrimmage. I don't want to scrimmage you. But if we're going to beat Michigan, we got to scrimmage. And don't get mad at me. But you remember this when you see Bo on September 12th. That guy doing, I mean. I did it 4 straight days. Every day I started off by saying, I called Bo today. The 5th day I walked out, before I could say a word, one of our players said, hey, Coach, I called Bo today. I said, what'd Bo say? He said, Bo said his players like steak and lobster, you know, but it's just the idea of what people are doing, having dreams. But the last point's the most important point in being a leader. You got to develop a team. You got to build a team. Building a team, I think, may be the most important obligation you have. And that is an obligation. I think there's some things about building a team that I want to share with you. And these are the things I share with our team every single week of the season. On Thursday night, I have a team meeting. I have a team meeting at 10 o'clock Thursday night. Why do I have a team meeting Thursday night at 10 o'clock? Because they lost so many games that on Thursday night, they went out and partied. They went out and drank and celebrated because they didn't feel they'd be able to celebrate after the game. So I have a team meeting at 10 o'clock. I have curfew at 11. And I cover these things every single week with the team. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not talking to you about something I read in a book. I'm not talking to you about something I think you'd like to hear. Everything I'm talking to you about are things I believe in my heart. I'm not preaching to you, I'm not lecturing to you, but when I'm talking to you, I'm thinking about how we can improve our program on a consistent basis. But a couple things about teamwork that I share with them. One, you need somebody, and somebody needs you. You cannot realize your potential unless you're part of a team. There are Hall of Fame for everything. Hall of Fame for college football, for NFL, for baseball, for announcers, there are more Hall of Fames in this world. I have never seen a monument built to a team. Yet I've never seen anybody accomplish something alone. Nobody can. Everybody needs somebody, and somebody needs you. Point number 2. The goal is more important than your role. Everybody wants to be the boss, but not everybody can. Coaches coach, administrators administrate, reporters report, and there cannot be an overlap. See, ladies and gentlemen, whatever role you have is very important. Our goal is to win, to succeed. Your goal is to win. Your goal is to beat the opposition. Because see, ladies and gentlemen, every single day, people go into the marketplace and they vote who's going to stay in business. You have 17,000 employees. The future of those 17,000 employees depends upon every single person doing their role. Because the goal is to make this business successful. And whatever role you have is not near as important as the overall goal. And we must keep that in mind. Somebody may play on kicking team. I don't know if any of you saw our game against Ohio State. There's a little guy by number 8. His main goal is to run down and cover punts. And he did it with a passion. It's the only time he played in the game. But he covered that sucker because he knew that was his role. And there's nobody that did any better. So your role is not as important as the goal. Point number 3. Point number 3. As the goal elevates, the need for teamwork escalates. When we play in the Southeastern Conference with our competition and our limited resources, we have to have better teamwork than anybody else. The greater the competition, I understand that you're much like South Carolina going into that conference. I can identify where you are. Oh, you got all the Tennessees and the Floridas, the LSUs, the established programs. All of a sudden, South Carolina comes into the picture. All of a sudden, we come to a little bit of competition. Now they start studying our film. They start pinpointing it. They start attacking us. I can understand how difficult it is and sometimes to be overwhelmed. But that means that teamwork got to become even more important in what you do. Do you realize before 1952, nobody had ever scaled Mount Everest? From 1920 to 1952, there were 7 different exposés, and they all failed. There was a guy by the name of Morris. Tried it with 3 people. Halfway up, 2 of them left. Morris said, I'll do it myself. They found them frozen to death. In 1952, a guy by the name of Sir Edmund Hillary scaled Mount Everest with 720 helpers. There were 720 people that helped him. They transported 2.5 tons of food and supplies to different camps on the way up. You can't do it alone. The more the competition, the more the need. Point number 4. You must develop a team. The only way I can develop a team is, 1, by adding new people. I have to add new people. We lost an All-American against Ohio State. We had to play a true freshman named George Goss. He was a new player on this team. He had 10 tackles, led us in tackles, 2 sacks. You add new people. That's how you increase a team. The other way you can strengthen the team is by deleting those who are holding others back. The third way you develop a team is by improving other people's skills and abilities. I said to our football team, we should be better because I count on the people coming back from last year to get better. You got to get better in everything you do. I expect everybody in our organization to get better. And we're going to add new people coming in, which is going to make us stronger. And if anybody's holding us back, I hate to do it, but I will delete you. Because the team goal is more important than any individual. But you must develop a team. You must develop people. The 5th thing, we can't have a weak link. A chain is only as strong as its weak link. You can't afford to be a weak link. You ever hear of Exxon Valdez, the ship that wrecked? A captain that I understand guided it into what he thought was safe channels, turned it over to a subordinate who turned it over to another subordinate, and the captain went in and had a drink, as I understand it, and it went aground. That one accident cost Exxon Company $8.5 billion. $8.5 billion because one guy made a mistake, almost ruined a great company. I could give you the breakdown. I think it was $3 billion in lawsuits, $1 billion in fines, $8.5 billion. You can't afford to have a weak link. You can't afford to have somebody hold us back. Because if we have one weak link, if it's in the offensive line, it's in the defensive line, we don't have a chance. And who are the weak links? You can pick them out. They're the ones that don't see the big picture. They're the ones that don't work to improve their weaknesses. They're the ones that don't want to be part of a team. Point number 6 on teamwork. The things I believe in from the bottom of my heart. And point number 6. You have to have people that trust each other. And there are 5 C's, I say. Number 1, character. You have to have people with integrity. They have to be consistent. They got to be there every single day. They got to be competent. They got to be able to do their job. They got to be committed. And they have to be cohesive. By cohesive, are they helping the team come together, or are their actions driving the team apart? We've got to be able to count on each other. Point number 7, I want people that will make plays. I say to our football team, when you see me talking to somebody, 4th and 5, and we call timeout, what am I saying? Who wants the ball? Do you want the ball? Do you want the responsibility? Or do you want somebody else to have the ball? People said to me, what'd you talk to the kicker? Ohio State called 3 timeouts. They said, what'd you say to the kicker? I said, the kicker, 2 things. 1, rhythm. You've done this 100 times, just to have rhythm. Number 2, do you want to be here? Is this where you want to be? Or do you want somebody else to kick it? He looked at me in the eye, just a young sophomore. He said, I want to be here. Great, I want you to be here, because I want people who want to be held responsible. I want people who want to make plays that are looking to be held responsible. There are too many people in this world on 4th and 5. Oh, I hope they don't run over my position. I hope they don't give me the ball. See, ladies and gentlemen, I want people who are going to be responsible. Point number 8. Rotten attitudes will ruin a team. The only thing more contagious than a good attitude is a negative attitude. Ladies and gentlemen, a negative attitude will kill things. When I was a junior in high school, we went undefeated. Boy, we had a new coaching staff. My senior year, it looked great. We had much of our team coming back, and we had a great JV team. We won 2 games and lost 8. Why? Because we had 2 different camps. We had the old-timers, us seniors, and these young upstarts. Instead of coming together, our attitude became negative. Let me tell you how you can tell a negative individual. This is what I tell our team. Number 1, they're never wrong. Somebody else wrong. Number 2, they always hold a grudge. He hollered at me last week. I'll never forgive him. Point number 3, they're selfish. They just look out for their own interests, not for anybody else. Point number 4, they want all the credit, but none of the responsibility. Now, gentlemen, my time's running down, but there's 10 points. I wished I could cover in greater detail the first 8 I have. But point number 9, everybody's got to pay the price. When a group fails to succeed, it fails to pay the price. Let me tell you this about the price. The price must be paid by everyone. There's no way to win without paying a price. And it must be paid by everyone, and it must be paid at all times. Point number 2 is the more you escalate, the greater the price becomes, and the price will never decrease. You just learn to understand that. You're going to have to pay a price, and everyone has to pay the price. All 17,000 employees got to pay a price if you're going to become the very best. And the last point is the most important one. You develop a team where we lift each other up. There's only 2 types of team, those that pull each other down or those that lift up. Ladies and gentlemen, every time I've gone into a losing situation, which is 6 of them, I've had a group of people who are basically insecure and try to criticize, pull everybody else down so they'll look better by comparison. Every time. I don't care with Notre Dame, NC State, Arkansas, South Carolina, Minnesota. Wherever you go, the same thing. It's a group of insecure people that are always criticizing, pulling everybody else down. The thing is, how do we get them to lift one another up? Now, I used to be insecure. I used to be insanely jealous of my wife. And in 40 years of marriage, never once has my wife ever given me reason to be jealous of her. Problem wasn't with my wife, problem was with me. We'd go to a cocktail party, she'd be talking to another man who's always better looking, better built, and I think, gee, why wouldn't she rather be with him than with me? And all the way home, I would unfairly criticize her, trying to pull her self-confidence down till she'd reach a level where she would think she was lucky to have me as a husband. Tremendous disservice I did to her. That's what happens when we're basically insecure, where we want to pull other people down rather than lift them up. How do we get a group of people to lift each other up? By our core values. I think every organization has to have core values. What do you believe in? What do you stand for? See, if you don't have values, anything goes. There has to be core values in a marriage. There has to be core values on a football team. There has to be core values in a business. See, to develop teamwork, they don't have to live with one another, like one another, eat with one another, party with one another, but they must share the same core values. And I have 3 rules. These are the 3 rules I've had for myself, my children, our football team. No matter where I've gone, I've had 3 rules, and I will not compromise. I believe these in the bottom of my heart. But if you follow these 3 rules, you'll go from pulling each other down to lifting one another up. You'll go from a group of insecure people to a group of people that are confident. I'm proud of what we've done on the football field every place I've been. I'm really proud of South Carolina. We had 22 seniors, 21 of them will graduate. Our grade point average gone from a 2.05 to almost a 2.75, where our football players conduct themselves as gentlemen. And the 3 rules are simple. Do what's right, be the best you can, and treat other people as you like to be treated. I will not compromise those rules. Do what's right, be the best you can, show people you care. That's the only 3 rules we have. Because everybody you meet asks 3 questions. I know you're in Argentina, you're in Europe, I know you're all over the world. But I don't care whether you're in Europe, Japan, Africa, South America, they ask 3 questions. Everybody you meet, your spouse, your children, your customers, the people you work with, ask 3 questions. Question number 1, can I trust you? Without trust, there can be no relationship. Well, our marriage can't last if she can't trust me or I can't trust her. The only way I know you develop trust is if both sides does what's right. You have to develop a trust. When I went to South Carolina, nobody trusted one another. They didn't trust a coach. In a team meeting, my first year there, we go on 11. I have 2 ex-football players arrested for selling drugs. I had a team meeting. I said, I want to know why you didn't tell me. You knew this was going on. Why didn't you trust me to tell me? And nobody had answered. And I got mad, and I said, why didn't you trust me? What have I done for you not to trust me? I don't expect you to like me, but what have I ever done for you not to trust me? And finally, one young football player, a sophomore, Jonathan Martin, got up and he said, I trust you, coach. But he said, I don't trust a lot of people in this room. He said, a lot of people in this room lie and cheat and steal. Some other players got up and echoed this statement. That's what was wrong. They didn't trust one another. How could they trust each other? When we made a commitment, we came up with what we called 12 covenants. They're simple. If you want a copy, I'll send it to you. I will not lie to myself or to each other. We'll count on each other to tell the truth. Just 12 simple things. That's what started turning our program around after that first year. It enabled us to be nationally ranked and win a bowl game my second year because we developed a trust that we would do what was right. The second question everybody asks, are you committed to excellence? You can have all the slogans you want. First will be best, then will be first. You send a message whether you're committed to excellence by the standards you have. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm old-fashioned. Today, everybody wants to talk about their rights and their privileges. 25 years ago, people talked about their obligations and their responsibilities. When you join Nextel, you join a spouse, you bring a child in this world, you join our team. You have obligations, you have responsibilities. And you will become us. We will not become you. These are the things we believe in. We believe in a commitment to excellence. No matter what you do, I want you to do it to the best of your ability. I admired Michael Jordan because no matter what he did it to the best of his ability. I played in the Michael Jordan golf tournament, and after we're sitting around, I'm here. Tubby Smith was there. Digger Phelps was there, an NBA All-Star, and Michael Jordan. Michael said to me in a voice loud enough for the NBA All-Star to hear. He said, Lou, he'll never win a championship like us. And he wasn't trying to put him down. He was trying to help him. The guy said, what do you mean? Michael said, how many pounds overweight are you? He said, 30. But he said, it doesn't matter. We're in a lockout. That was 2 years ago this past September. Michael said, that's what I'm talking about. If you want to be a champion, you don't wait for camp to start. You think about it year round. Michael said, you're an NBA All-Star, and I played with the Olympics. You can do that alone. But he said, you can't win a championship alone. So if you want to be a championship, you have a commitment to help the others to raise and elevate their level of play. You look at Michael Jordan when he was with the Bulls, or look what he does with the Wizards. The commitment to excellence in everything we do. Ladies and gentlemen, Notre Dame, we lost a heartbreaker. And I went home, I couldn't sleep, and I came to the conclusion reason we lost was I lowered the standard. See, ladies and gentlemen, as a leader, you cannot lower the standard. What you have to do is say, here's the standard, I'm not going to lower it, but I'm going to show you how to reach it. And the part of the thing of reaching, all I ask you to do, no matter what you do it to the best of your ability. And I'll just look at somebody and say, is that the best you could do? And I want to know why not. I want to know why not. And we went out on practice on Monday. We had a very physical practice, so we had an All-American left guard. Aaron Taylor was injured. In his place was second-string left guard. Wasn't very long into practice, realized second-string left guard was just going through the motions. I stopped practice. I said to the left guard, what gives you the right to jeopardize our teammates' chance of success? He was going through the motions. His man made every play. I said, your teammates deserve an explanation. He couldn't give one. I said, go over and stand on the sideline and think about it. The obligation you have to other people, you're letting them down. Third-string left guard jumped in his place. I said, no, we're going to play without a left guard. I hadn't planned it. I was so upset. We broke the huddle. We had a center, a vacant area, and the left tackle. So when I was proud of our defense, they recognized her. Said, you don't have left guard. I said, I know. They said, what do we do? I said, act like we have one. Rick Meyer takes the ball, gives the ball to Reggie Brooks, our tailback. Oliver Gibson, who's now with Cincinnati Bengals, comes through a vacant area, hits Reggie Brooks. As soon as he gets the ball, tremendous thud. Moment of silence. Reggie started to moan, I can't see. Scares you. Turned his helmet around. He was fine and came back to the huddle. And after one or two plays, players really upset and they're hollering. I said, what's wrong? What's wrong? We don't have left guard. I said, when'd you notice? They looked at me crazy. I said, we haven't had one all day. I said, I'm tired of pretenders. I'm tired of imposters. I said, we played with 8 players last Saturday. I said, I'd rather played with 8. We would have lost, but at least everybody knew we only had 8. It was a G. If we had 11 like him, nobody beat us. We never lost again for the next 17 straight games. Our last 5 games that year, we played 5 nationally ranked teams. Our average margin of victory was 21 points. The Cotton Bowl, we played Texas A&M. They're 12-0, number 2 in the country. We beat them 28-3. The commitment. The last question everybody asked, do you care about me? That's what everybody wants to know. Do you care about me? And if we understand that everybody has a problem, we have successful people in this room. I don't care if you talk to Mr. Donahue, Mr. Mooney, or anybody else. Very successful people. There isn't one person in this room that doesn't need a kind word, that doesn't need a smile, that doesn't need encouragement. You're never going to meet anybody again the rest of your life that doesn't have a problem. Understand people. We had a football player down at bowl practice that wasn't doing very well. And I really got upset because he wasn't doing the best he could do. And then when I looked into it, he had lost his dad almost 1 year ago to the day. He was down. He needed a friend. He needed some encouragement. He needed a father. And here I was getting all over, worried about myself instead of looking at that individual. How could I help him? And when you really get down and get discouraged, go work for International Special Olympics. When it was at Notre Dame, I was a hugger. I had lane 3, no matter who finished the race, first, last, or in between. My only job was run up and hug them and say, I'm proud of you. And people that had every reason to be bitter just wanted to be appreciated. That's all people are. My time is up. Golly, Neds, it goes by so fast. But there isn't any such thing as magic. I like to do magic. I like to do a simple little trick for you. It's like any other newspaper. You have front page for people who want to read the news. You have the comics for people who can't read. And you have the editorial page for people who can't think. But here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to take 2 people. Can take anybody in this world. Take somebody you work with. Take somebody you love, admire, and respect you work with. And take somebody you got a problem with. Can be anybody in this world. This applies in your personal life as well. Put these 3 questions on both people. Can you trust them? Yes or no? Are they committed to excellence? Yes or no? Do they care about you in the organization? Yes or no? The person you admire and respect, you just said yes to all 3 questions. The person you got a problem with, you pinpointed the problem. Either you can't trust them, they aren't committed, or they don't care. See, there isn't any such thing as